We are all familiar with the name Jeshua ben Joseph, commonly referred to as Jesus. His thoughts and ideas altered the course of human history and formed the basis of the institution that became known as Christianity. This book is not about his history. It does not address the issue of his existence, nor does it examine alternative texts and scriptures that were deleted or suppressed by religious authorities. Since it is the accepted Bible that has formed the basis of religious dogma, it is best to reference that which has been accepted as containing the words of Jesus, rather than to debate other possible and probable sources of his teaching. Thus, the teachings discussed in this book come from the King James Version of the Bible. Like the purloined letter, the wisdom of the Master Jesus has been before us all, awaiting a new interpretation and a new vision in thought. Jesus was by no means the first to introduce the concept of the law of attraction. If one were to examine the works of the ancient mystics, it would be clear that the law had its earliest roots in ancient Egypt and Babylon. However, few are familiar with the likes of Pharaoh Akhenaten, and fewer with the mystical thoughts of the rest of the ancient world. The Jewish Cabala is another source of information on the law of attraction, and it is said that many secret societies, like the Rose Cross, have long kept the old mysteries and laws alive throughout the centuries. One could just as easily focus upon the teachings of Buddha or Lao Tzu, and the law would be revealed in that spiritual context. Further examination of the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata also reveal the same laws, and thus the claim that it is universal in nature and in origin. The sayings of Jesus presented in this work are taken in the order that they appear in the Bible. If they are essentially the same from one gospel to the next, the interpretation is not repeated unless some important nuance is detected. Sayings presented are those that this author feels represent the early public roots of what has become the law of attraction. Upon close examination, an additional law, the law of responsibility, also emerges as an integral part of the master's philosophy. These are my interpretations, and I do not presume to be a higher authority regarding the meanings of the sayings. By the same token, I am no lesser of an authority. We all have the ability to seek and find the inner meaning of Scripture, regardless of religious persuasion. I make little effort to describe the context of the quotes, as in many cases, the context is inconsequential to the interpretation of the meaning. What is important is the stream of thought that is revealed in the teachings of Jesus with respect to the subject at hand. It is important to view the entire thread pertaining to the spiritual laws of Jesus if one is to reach any kind of reasonable conclusion regarding his thoughts on the subject. There are 3 levels of interpretation that are employed when attempting to analyze spiritual thought. The first level is an objective analysis. The results of this mode of thinking are literal conclusions regarding concepts. Fundamentalists are prone to this way of thinking. The second level is the subjective. This tends to delve a little deeper and answers the question, what does this passage mean to me? This line of analysis is generally based upon your own life experience regarding the concept at hand, in which biases of your own personal belief system form the basis of your conclusions. The next level is the inner and spiritual meaning. It is here that few travel, as most have been told the meaning by a pastor or priest. It requires the removal of personal bias and conditioning, and demands that the mind open to the influx of deeper spiritual insight. It is the inner voice that speaks at this level, and the result is often personal revelation. The historical accumulations of such revelations that have been consistent throughout the ages form the body of works that we know of as the secret teachings. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments if you agree or feel differently. And thanks for watching.